Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wellness Day, a podcast coming to you every Wednesday here from the Jahangir Wellness Center. My name is Kavas Jahangir, and here from the JWC studio today, I've got a very, very special guest. I've got the youngest guest that we've had here at the Wellness Day podcast. I've got Saie Pawar, who is an inspiration here. She's an inspiration because she's been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes since she was 10 years old, and she's been on a very long and tough journey, but she is here on the other side, and so it's a true inspiration to have you here. Thank you so much for being here, Sai.
Thank you for having me.
So straight, as I said, you're an inspiration to the story that I know that you've had. Why don't you just give us a quick background about you and your story here?
Uh, so I was 10 years old when I got diagnosed by type 1 diabetes. I didn't know what diabetes was
Yeah.
then. So it was a very surprise when my family was, panicking in the hospital. Oh my God, she's diagnosed with diabetes and we don't know what to do. And I was just chilling over there. Okay, I have to spend a night in hospital. What's the big deal? But like with time, and now that 10 years have passed, I have learned a lot of things about this disease. A lot of good things, a lot of bad things. And
Yeah. How did you know that you were diagnosed? Like, what made you feel that you needed to get diagnosed with?
I was actually on a trip with my grandmother.
Okay.
Like it was a trip with her and her friends, like a bhajni manda type, a devotional trip
Right,
and everything. And I was not able to control my urination. So it was a very big setback, I'll say, and I was very embarrassed because there were very, like, all were grannies around me and I was the youngest among them, like 9-10 years old, yet I was the one who had to constantly go to washrooms and
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
run and everything. So that was that one signal. After that, I got my bloods checked and everything, and then I got diagnosed. So I was in hospital. I guess that was the only time when I was admitted in a hospital, probably for like
Okay.
3 to 4 days. And surprisingly, that was Diwali season.
Achha.
So God, that
With all the
Diwali was,
sweets and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. I only got like very chivda and chakli and
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that. Didn't get any sweets that season.
And you had a sweet tooth.
Yeah, I do.
You still
Like,
have a sweet tooth.
I do, but like it has reduced a lot because as I was young, I guess until the age of 15, it wasn't a sweet tooth. I think it was revenge eating somewhere
Okay.
because I was like, why is everybody saying no to me? Why am I being called out for this and that and this? So if a sweet tooth is something you eat just to fulfill your craving, just one bite, two bite, or a whole sweet, I used to grab everything that I get because I was so mad at like everything and
And
everybody.
as you said, as a 10-year-old,
Yeah. I couldn't
Child
wrap my
also.
head around the concept of diet or diagnosis
Yeah.
or anything about that.
so how was that? It must have been a very, very tough thing when you were a 10-year-old in school as well. Can you talk about how that felt for you?
In school, I guess my parents were very keen about telling all the teachers about my disease. They were keen about telling my friends' parents as well about the disease so that I am not, left out or anything. But it always, because I have seen this drastic change. When I was in school, people were always, matlab kids my age, were
Yeah.
always fascinated by the whole sugar and insulin, and they used to maybe be surprised, maybe pity me a little bit or something like that. But as I grew up, as I got into school and found my new friend group, they are very casual about it. They're like, okay, she is doing her sugars, she's taking her meds,
That's good.
everything. Yeah. So it's a very healthy environment that I have shifted into dheere dheere, and it's a better place now.
But you're saying it didn't start like that though.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Because, of course, everybody was my age. Everybody had a very half knowledge about what I had.
Yeah.
And they have always seen diabetes from the lens of their grandparents. What they have, what
Right.
they do, so they always have advices that apply to their grandparents. Like, for example, eating some tree's root or some plant's leaves won't help me. But they don't know that. They will come with the advice that they have heard in their house. Now as well, people come to me with eat this, drink that,
Yeah.
do this. But it is a very temporary option to a very long lasting disease, and it does not help.
Right.
Like I have gone through that phase where I have drinking okra water, eating neem leaves and doing what not. It tastes horrible.
Yeah.
It does not help. And it is a pain to, wake up every day and have a glass of that.
Do you think that there was also like a taboo attached, that you think that people thought that this person has type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes. So,
No, I think in a country like India, a lot of people have diabetes.
yeah, exactly.
They just don't know the difference between type 1 and type 2.
Can you tell us the difference?
Type 1 diabetes is like, okay, type 2 diabetes, for instance, is like your pancreas is on a lock and key mode. If medicine, for example, metformin that the whole population
Yeah.
takes is given to the pancreas, it opens the lock and insulin is, distributed throughout your body. But in type 1 diabetes, pancreas is not able to produce any insulin. There is problem in the whole mechanics of it. So even if you give external help, even if
Yeah.
you try to, do all the home
All the
remedies, if there
lifestyles.
is no production of insulin, there is nothing that comes out. That is why there is an external source of insulin taken. And that is why you have to do carb counting. You have to see what you are eating and how much you are eating so that you can decide your insulin dose.
And they're always monitoring your blood sugar.
And you will see in type 2 diabetes as well, the tests are done once in a month, once in 5 months, or whatever the period is. We have to do it every day, 3 times a day. Because we need that insulin to survive, to do whatever. That
Okay.
is the difference.
And what were the toughest parts for you when you were just diagnosed and starting to learn about the disease and
I
having to change your lifestyle?
The toughest part was shifting from victim mentality to the acceptance mentality.
Interesting. Okay.
Because when you're a kid, you are always so mad at everything. This whole hormone game happens in your teenage that you're already mad. Added to that, there are more restrictions put on you that you can't eat this, you can't do that, you can't go out with friends because you have to eat something pehle, you have to do this. You are restricted with your playing time as well because more games will drop your sugars.
Okay.
Less games will also increase your sugars. So there has to be a balance. And you, as a kid, you don't understand that balance. You have to be rebellious, you have to do everything. So in the process, you start hurting people that are very close to you because you say things or you do things which
or
are
lashing
not
out.
exactly which are not good for you, but you don't know that yet. So I think with time you understand that okay, nobody is there to hurt me, it is all for me, happening for me. That is the difference that comes.
Okay. So how did you get that shift? I like what you said, from victim to what was you said acceptance.
I was a pretty rebellious kid. So
Hopefully still are in the right ways though.
I am, but
Good.
it was a dangerous journey actually, because I said a lot of things
I see.
to a lot of people that hurt. And when you put yourself in their shoes about why you do it or why are they doing it, then you understand that it's not their fault. They are just
Right.
looking out for you.
Yeah.
Like my father, once I was, in this whole victim mentality of why me, why this is happening with me and everything. And he sat me down and he was like, taking insulin or everything is just like exercising. If you don't exercise for a few days, if you don't do this, don't do that, so it will affect your health. If you don't take insulin right now, it won't show right now, but it will affect your health later on.
Right.
People do things when they become fancy. People do calorie counting, people look at their diet, people look at everything, eat salads and do exercise and 10K steps, everything, when it becomes fancy. But this is a disease where you have to do it.
Yeah, do it absolutely.
You have to look forward to it. If you don't take insulin right now because you're so rebellious and you don't want to, and because I am telling it and you don't understand why, don't do it. Don't do it right now, don't do it tomorrow, don't do it day after tomorrow. But it will not affect you right now, but it will affect you someday. Just like exercising, just like not studying, just like everything in life.
Yeah.
So you have to look forward to yourself. So I think that is when he toned it down for me. Because the word diabetes itself, every time somebody hears it,
Like a
they're
trigger.
like, oh my God, you have diabetes, you have this, you have that. So they look at you from a very different lens. And I got used to it. Oh my God, am I different? Am I this? Am I that? I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am pretty fine. And it makes a great success story.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking about that because
Yeah.
I'm coming to that success story as well. Because you talked about studies as well. And I heard from somewhere that you were a topper in your school as well, 92+% in your grades. So how did you manage that with the disease and, in the background of your life? How did you manage to overachieve? Or not even overachieve, achieve your potential?
Well, I think what you see today is just the outcome, just the product. There is a big team working behind that. There is my family, there is my team of doctors who have made me grow into this individual who has to be independent because of the disease as well, who has to work, who has to earn. And even sometimes in a society, we see, like, as a female, there are things that are put onto me. There are
Yeah.
house chores, there are this and there are that. I have seen that my family has made me get out of that loop, that they have made studies a great priority. My father till date, I think it is because of that, he till date says that your first priority is your health. Even if you fail in your exams, even if you do this, even if you don't do it, I will be there for you, but I can't compromise with your health. And maybe that's maybe it's a concept that when you're pressurized as a kid, ki, like, you have to study, you have to do this, you don't listen. But when you are given the free reign of, okay, don't do it, then there is a pressure ki, oh my god, you have to do
it
this
yourself now.
Yeah, my parents trust me too much, I have to achieve this now.
So you grew up fast.
Yeah, I grew up. I had to, because you understand a lot more things when you are going. You see things like this. You are told things that are about your health or external world or anything. So you grow.
Okay. You talked about your sort of team of doctors and things like that. I know that you were a part of a program called Sweetlings. You want to talk about what that was and your journey a part of that? Because that, I think, you said was a big support system for your diabetes particularly.
Yeah, they still are a big support system. I think it's like a second family for me.
Can you tell us what it is quickly? I know what it is, but maybe our audience does not.
Sweetlings is a program here which looks forward to the diabetic health and everything of the kids starting from the age 0 to 21. I have seen kids who are like 2 months old and still having insulin dosage. And it's a heavy load because diabetes, no matter what we say, it's an expensive disease. You need a lot of, especially as a type 1 diabetic kid, you need a lot of medicine, you need a lot of monitoring, x-rays and insulin and everything. So it has been a great help for whoever, needs financial help, mental help or anything. The team of doctors are brilliant. They are qualified and you don't see them as doctors in a lot of instances. Like, you see them as parents. They might scold you for 2 seconds or 3 seconds for, your sugars, but they will sit you down and they will tell you about, why this is important, why this is not. So it's an overall holistic environment where you grow up. I have grown up there. I have seen a lot of things and I have learned a lot of things.
You said you've been part of it now for 10 years.
Yeah, almost 10 years. So I'll be a graduate student of them once I turn 21.
Okay.
But it's great because it's like every time I achieve something in life, my first priority is to tell that to my parents. But the second thing that I love to do is come to ma'am and tell them ki, oh my god, I achieved this. And
that is Dr. Anuradha you're talking about.
Yeah. And she is so happy about it. She's happier than me when I achieve things and when I do things. So it's always a pleasure.
She's everyone's second mother.
I know. She has a lot of kids to look after.
But that's a good point then. Now, as a 21-year-old who's been a part of this program for 10 years now, just about 10 years, what is the advice that you'd give to young kids who have just learned about their diagnosis? What is the kind of advice that you'd give them, having seen this and done this yourself, as you said, through this journey?
I think I will definitely tell them it's a scary journey. It does not get easier. But the more patience you have with this, the more understanding you have towards yourself, it will be easier. And I think you have to go easy on yourself. You can't punish yourself about having this, or you can't blame yourself for having this, because it is nobody's fault at the end of the day. It just happened to you. So with the help of the doctors that you have, with the help of the parents that you have, there is a lot of scope of learning and you can live a life that is very fulfilling. I'll say fulfilling that a normal person can.
I was going to ask you, so today, how are you managing?
I am doing fine. I am doing great actually.
But that's something that you've learned over a period of time. So
I have.
Yeah. So for example, what are the things that you're doing well today that
I think
helping you?
Yeah. Apart from the whole diabetes and everything, I have learned not to be scared of things. Like the fear of stage, the fear of speaking up, telling my story. Because there was a time when I was younger that I used to feel sad when people used to know that I have diabetes. Because they used to treat me different. Now I make sure that they know it. Because it is a part of me. It is a very big part of me. So that has came with time. Or I'll say diabetes is never a success story. It is always a learning path. matlab yesterday can be a great day for me, today won't be, because today might be my sugars might be about 200 or anything. It's just about waking up every day and deciding to enjoy whatever you have, to learn things and to be able to do much more. Because when you keep diabetes as the center of what you are, everything revolves around it. But it can't be, because why? What would be the purpose of your living then?
Absolutely.
Just to fight a disease? It won't work that
Right.
way.
Actually, I was expecting answers about, your good habits about eating and so forth. But what I liked what you're saying is that it's actually so much a mental and emotional thing. It's a switch that's in your head that you've decided that this is not going to dictate my life and I'm going to live a happy life. And that is what flows from that. So I definitely love how you've approached it from that standpoint. Because the next question I was going to ask you is, what are the good habits that you've got? But the good habits that you've probably got is because of that mindset that you've
I think
established.
Yeah, it's the people around me.
Right.
There are good people, there are bad people. It's just about what you see, what your lens is. You have to change your lens from being a diabetic kid to having diabetes and doing things.
Yeah.
Because you can do a lot. I have the privilege of studying. I have the privilege of getting on a stage and speaking about things. I have the privilege to get medications for free, which is a big privilege to have.
Right.
Not everybody gets that. So you can't waste that opportunity on just being pitiful to yourself and feeling sorry about yourself. Because it's not just you living with the disease, it's your whole family living with it. They have to make the changes in their lifestyle. They have to make changes in the cooking style. Everything
yeah.
around them. The bedtime, the waking up time, everything changes just according to you, because you have a disease. So you can't let them down with your
Absolutely,
mood
yeah,
swings
yeah.
and your
Right.
thoughts.
And that journey continues for you. As you said, that success is going on and on. You're training to be a physiotherapist, I believe. I know.
I am.
What made you decide to be a physiotherapist?
Actually, like every kid in India, it started with MBBS.
Okay.
It started with the NEET journey after 10th standard. Ki, okay, you have got great marks now. You have to start your MBBS preparations.
Right.
But there is very little awareness and little seats in MBBS colleges. So when you don't get in, you get very lost in the world about what you want to do and what you don't. It was always my decision to be in healthcare, because there are people who have done a lot of things for me,
Yeah.
and I would like to give back in any way possible. So healthcare makes pretty much great sense in my head. But physiotherapy as such wasn't the plan. It
Okay.
wasn't plan A. It wasn't even plan B. Plan C worked out because rehabilitation makes sense to me now. Because even after injury, even after everything traumatic that has happened in your life, just like diabetes,
Right. Yeah.
you have to
I was going to say, you're
relearn-
applying that to your life.
you
I love
have
that.
to relearn every step of it. You have to relearn your living and your movement and everything. So physiotherapy just clicked.
That's a lovely approach on how you're approaching that as well. That's
I guess there is not much awareness about the field. Matlab, there are a lot of colleges, there are a lot of seats, but a lot of physiotherapists don't see the potential that is in the field, which is sad, because there is a lot much that
Huge.
can happen. There is a lot of potential. So
and you can definitely lead that charge now, as you've been leading in the type 1 diabetes voice.
Yeah.
Now you can expand that with your journey.
Yes, I
Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been an inspiration talking to you, Saie. Is there any last words that you'd like to leave us with? Any messages for the young kids or older kids who are starting this journey again or on this journey? I'll leave you with the last word.
I think diabetes is a tough disease. Okay, you can't be happy and sunshines and rainbow with it every day. There will be times when you will feel sad, when you will feel like, what is wrong with me, with everything, with the hormones, with the weight, with a lot of things that are happening around you. I just need you to be a little calm and a little understanding towards yourself. Before blaming things on others, or before having that thought of why is this happening with me, I think you should understand what is about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, every thought apart from the diabetes.
Okay.
The thought that makes you, everything that you have, the qualities, the dance, the art, everything. And then you have to expand on the things that you know, rather than just being stuck on that one thing that I have a disease. So just
Lovely.
be kind to yourself.
I think your outlook on life is absolutely incredible, and I think that is really the inspiration that everyone should be taking away. So thank you so much again for being
Thank
here.
you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you all. And before you leave, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button here at the bottom. And if any comments you have, please do share them. And we will see you next week. Thank you.